He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Welcome back to another episode of Minutes Truth. I am your only host on this show, and what day is it today? Well, it's not Wednesday, it's not Hump Day, so that one doesn't really officially work. But it is. Will always be Veterans Day. Thank you to all those who served, and those of you that got kicked out because you're pieces of shit, I'm not talking about you. For those of you that said they got hurt in basic training and had to get out, I'm not talking about you. For those pieces of shit that got kicked out because you're a piece of shit, I'm also not talking about you. And that would basically mean a lot of people, to include my sister, calls herself a veteran when she's a fucking piece of shit who couldn't stay out of trouble. And she had the easiest job, I think, in the Army, or in the military, because she was the person who worked at the AMC terminals, which is our flights that we take overseas, or military flights in general. Right? But that's not why we're here today. Well, it's one of the reasons we're here today, because, well, it's my day. It's kind of like my birthday, but not a birthday. It's basically like a day where people like me just hang out, chill, and do the same thing we do every day. Oh, well, never mind. It's just another day. It's Tuesday, though, so it's a good thing it's not Monday. But before we get anything started, I got to start off with the good music. This one actually brings back a ton of memories. It came out at the same time I retired, just about. But every time I hear it, I'm just like, I have to sit here and listen to it all the way through, and it's so hard to just click out. Well, at least for me. And my infantry buddies, because I sent this out this morning, and they all had the same outcome, or the same thought process. So while we're at this, go ahead and get you a cup of coffee. I am on number 2. But I also have my energy drink. I also had Spam rice and eggs for breakfast. You can't beat that, especially when you're an islander. So, go get your coffee. You can eat a bagel. It's okay. Even on days like today. It's okay. It's okay. You're not Jewish? You can have a bagel. If you're Jewish, that sucks for you. Don't toast it. Anyway, let's get to the first video today. It's the only music video today, so I hope y'all enjoy as much as I do. And I don't even have it set up. See you in a couple minutes while you go get your shit and I go do stuff real quick.
Remember when we signed the dotted line, a life away, life away. Such a young age became government property. It's 2000, the lieutenant just called a layout. 'Cause some douchebag from Bico has lost his nuts. Ain't no weekend for me. Life was just a game of hurry up and wait. I remember counting my days until that ETS date. I can't believe we missed this shit, it's true. Worst days never felt so right. Now I'm stuck in a suit and tie, wishing I was back with the boys. I can't believe we missed this shit. 'Cause this shit, it's true. Worst days never felt so right. Now I'm stuck in a suit and tie, wishing I was back with the boys. I can't believe we missed this shit. Yes, it's true. 'Cause this shit, it's true. Yes, it's true. 'Cause this shit, it's true. Yes, it's true. 'Cause this shit, it's true. Yes, it's true. On this bullshit farm, taking motors every day. Every day. Had sex with myself in a porta-john just to get away. Gotta get away. I've got TBI from getting my ass blown up. And most of my friends are missing some limbs. You guys are badasses, by the way. But this PT belt in my throat will keep me safe.
I thought about pulling out my PT belts just to wear them for this, but I didn't feel like looking for them. Although, I think I know where they might be, but I don't feel like digging for them. I was also going to wear a U.S. Army sweatshirt, but it's too fucking hot, even when the window's open and the heater turned down. Hello, Zippity Doodah. Thanks. At least you called me Doc. I appreciate that. Let's continue.
From terrorism,
Because that's science.
because that's science.
Now I forgot to say this. This is the picture from my last deployment. I also post it every year for Veterans Day because you're supposed to post a picture of yourself in uniform. This is the picture I choose every year. Because you can't tell if I'm in uniform or not. Which is the way it's supposed to be. Oh, that's right. That's right, Zippity. You're from Houston. I actually bought this at the Tennessee game when I went to watch the Patriots because it was cold as fuck and I needed an undershirt. But I am going to another Tennessee Titans game on December 21st. Oh, you're a Houston fan. Never mind. I know it's not the Oilers, but they actually are the Oilers. Right? Because the same owners moved to Tennessee and they changed their name to the Tennessee Titans. Still the Houston Oilers.
Worst days never felt so right. Now I'm stuck in a suit and tie. Shit, I was back with the boys. I can't believe we missed this shit. Yes, it's true.
All right, had to get that song out of the way. I like listening to that. It's been a while. Thanks, Jeff. Thank you. This next video, it's from JD Delay. I think I saw a short, but I went to find the actual long form video, and apparently he said it's not verified. There's a college either in Washington or Portland or somewhere in that area where to get into a fraternity or organization, you're supposed to basically jump service members. I'm not an Oilers fan either. I just needed a shirt and I kind of liked it. But this is kind of the same thing we had in Manhattan, Kansas, K-State University, right next to Fort Riley. And there was a fraternity there that you caught you alone by yourself, they were going to jump you. And there's nothing Manhattan PD would ever do about it until we took it into our own hands. We had this one soldier from Maine get jumped, called me, I called my platoon sergeant, and I called the squad leader, and guess what? All three of us went to Manhattan, Kansas. We were ready for a fight. Of course, that was back in my Bulldog days. This is like right after the 2010 deployment, I think. When did I have that fucker in my unit? God, I got so many I don't remember. Anyway, so I don't know if this story is just common across the United States, because it wasn't common in Fort Benning, Georgia. You never heard of them jumping soldiers there. But anyway, let's get into this.
A breaking story that there is a fraternity in North Carolina where they are.
Oh, my bad. Right next to June. Yo. I don't believe this story now. I thought this was in the North Pacific Northwest. This is North Carolina.
Their new pledges as part of their initiation into the fraternity to attack active duty Marines and take their CAC. Hold on, that sounded really sketchy.
Because back in K-State days, they took your dog tags, which is weird why you would wear them outside fucking the base.
For those of you who don't know what a CAC is, that is their military issue ID.
We have 5 Marines going to get Sprite dudes. Let's see who comes out on top. I'm getting nervous. There we go. Good
job.
For
common access card.
Come on. Dude, your arm is like higher than.
Give up. Don't give up.
But so far, we don't have any confirmation that this story is actually true. We're not sure if it's factual or if this is all stemming from an internet rumor. We're going to get into all of that. I'm going to give you all of the information. We're going to take some opinions from some different people who are educated on this situation. And of course, we are going to be talking about what should happen if this ends up being true.
Fucking massive beat. Could happen. What's up, Short Bus?
First off, we need to talk about fraternities and their hazing and initiation rituals. Much like any branch of the military,
we have hazing
rituals that there are going to be between the brothers that are involved in those organizations that they're going to put you through, and a lot of it is going to be humiliation. Some of it might be physically painful or grueling stuff.
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, if you cut the mustard, you get to be one of the
Tell anyone about this, I'll kill you. I'm kidding. We'll come back.
But we don't beat people up.
But regardless of how insane some of the hazing initiation rituals for fraternities are, I can assure you the ones for the U.S. Marines are way more bizarre, painful, and extreme.
I used to break motherfuckers down.
All right, Comfort Brains. Show me exactly where your skivvies and running shoes go.
Sir, the recruit can't think while the drill instructor is hitting him on his head, sir.
You can't think while I'm giving you a few love taps? How the fuck are you going to fire your rifle when grenades are going off in your face?
So this entire story
That's
centers around Camp Lejeune in North Carolina, which has been an amphibious training base since 1940. In 1942, it was named an official Marine Corps base and was named Camp Lejeune in honor of General John Lejeune.
Many thousand men have borne the name Marine. In memory of them, it is fitting that we who are Marines should commemorate the birthday of our Corps by calling to mind the glories of its long and illustrious history.
Now, the school that we're talking about, where the fraternity is, supposedly and allegedly, I'm going to say at this point, is UNCW in North Carolina. And I don't know much about the school.
Winston?
I did just look it up, and I want to read you what it says. UNCW has a significant connection to the U.S. Marines, with a dedicated office to support military students, a history of military-affiliated students and faculty, and specific degree programs for Marines. The university was established as a GI Bill school, and has long valued its relationship with service members, including Marines, through programs and resources. So what it sounds like to me,
what's up, Jennifer,
is that this is not the school that this should be coming from. Like, this sounds like a school with a pretty
military
heavy
school like
connection
LSU used
that's
to be.
located right next to this Marine Corps base.
New at 6, the University of North Carolina Wilmington is speaking out on claims that student groups are targeting members of the military.
Now, allegedly, the frat in question is the Kappa Sigma frat. And the Kappa Sigma frat specifically at UNCW, because Kappa Sigma is nationwide in the US and in Canada as well.
They have that same fraternity. Interesting.
All right, so now I want to read you a message that I got that was actually sent from a drill instructor about this whole situation. Good morning, leaders. Just a heads up from Wilmington. Currently, there is a fraternity at UNCW that is part of their initiation is to jump Marines and return to their frat houses with their CACs. My sister-in-law is EMS in Wilmington, and they have responded to several calls of Marines being jumped and being sent to the ER. They are using women that are pretending to have car trouble and lure Marines out to have them alone. Please pass this on to your Marines so they don't become victims. That right there is absolutely disgusting, to actually
but that's
set
actually
a trap
believable
for active duty Marines, people who signed up to sacrifice years of their life and put their lives on the line for our country, our people, our Constitution, our way of life, and our freedom, and to assault them for your weird gay little frat ritual. Absolutely unacceptable.
I want to know what dumbass frat bro had the bright idea of making their initiation for the new little frat members to be beating up Marines. Out of all of the branches that you could have
it really is,
Zip. That's the one you went for?
So we don't have anything to verify 100% that any of this information is actually credible, but I do want you to hear from this Marine veteran exactly what his take on it is, because I think this dude is absolutely lit.
So apparently the new trend at UNC Wilmington right now is to jump a Marine and take his CAC, which is his military ID, as an initiation to join a fraternity. This is the most drunk weekend in Marine Corps history because it is our 250th birthday.
Yep.
So what these UNC Wilmington college-educated fucking frat brothers are doing are having their, their
Hey,
pledges.
Chantel, how you doing, man?
Fucking go and jump a man who has spent his entire life as an adult training to kill.
Do you have what it takes to be the meanest, the cruelest, the most savage, unforgiving mother in God's cruel kingdom? Yes, that's Sergeant! Be able to one day say, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will feel no evil because I am the baddest mother in the goddamn valley. Yes, that's Sergeant!
And take the one piece of equipment that he is required to have on him 24/7, 365 days a year. On a weekend where they are celebrating 250 years of killing bad guys and drinking until liver failure.
And this right here is exactly why the Marines are my favorite. Every branch of the military has self-described themselves as a gang, except the Marines. The Marines are a cult. They are a cult of cran-eating maniacs who have been designed and built from the bottom up to do two things: to kill and to destroy.
I don't know.
I guarantee you, if you are a frat brother at UNC Wilmington and you so much as lay a hand on the most pogue boot PFC Marine, you will have all of Lejeune coming to end your bloodline.
Like, you understand that these are men who have been built with a deeply ingrained purpose, and they have not yet gotten to live out that purpose, to see and feel a man's life leave his body.
And if you so much as accidentally fucking lay a finger on a corpsman, brother, you better pray. Because if you touch Doc,
see, even the Marines, they know. Pay attention to what he says.
Finger on a corpsman, brother, you better pray. Because if you touch Doc, everyone will kill you. Here's the thing. Marines aren't afraid to kill you. They want to know what it feels like to kill somebody if they haven't already.
And you want to give him an excuse to live out that fantasy, the thing that makes him wake up with morning wood every single morning. You are volunteering for that.
They've trained their entire adult lives to kill. And now they're thinking, oh, if I go to Wilmington and I just go out for a few beers and some fucking frat brothers try to jump me, I'll kill all of them and I'll be fucking fine because it's self-defense.
That is a violently retarded choice for somebody who is in college to build themselves a nice little life to be making. But if that's how you want to go out, you are going to make some Marine very, very happy.
And you're also doing this around the same time as the 250th Marine Corps birthday ball, which is a fucking booze fest. You want to get some Lance Corporal who just got back from
Think about it, like,
and all
their booze fest it's 4 days long because they had Saturday to get fucking schmammered, Sunday to get schmammered, Monday the fucking birthday, so they got fucking ridiculously schmammered, and then you have today. They're probably still schmammered.
What he wants to do is drink, and drink, and fight, and drink, and drink, and fight, and drink, and fight.
That's what the Army used to be, or the military in general.
You're his next fucking target, bud. Good fucking luck. Marines, get some.
If everything that we're hearing is true, and they're actually making the conscious decision to do this, to get into some retarded fraternity, they clearly don't value their lives. So I'm going to make the choice not to value their life either. And I am just going to laugh when they get absolutely obliterated. That's what they have coming to them. And I don't think that a single Marine should get in any type.
I don't know about killing them, but teaching them a lesson. Sometimes lessons need to be taught to make you the better person. I know this. I know this because building blocks. You learn from your mistakes. And I think that's why I'm a lot smarter, a lot wiser than I was when I was 17, 18 years old. Well, shit, all the way up till I was 29, 30. Because I knew my shit. And I thought I was God. And then turns out you needed some training. And then I eventually became God. A God, not God. Watch yourself. That light is killing me, guys. I'm sorry. I don't feel like closing the curtain. Dude, I love days like today. It's like how do you say this? Remembrance Day, a day of remembrance for all the shit that really fucking sucked. Remember, I'm 40. How old am I? 43. 43 years old. Out of those 43 years, I was in the military for 20. Out of those 20, it's pretty close to being, well, it's actually over 8 years in combat. God damn. I mean, not together, seemed like it, but combined. Fucking crazy, right? You take all the greatest parts and you remember them. You take all the shitty parts and you still remember them. But then when I sit here every day, I'm like, man, that shit sucked. The rewards were kind of working out for me in the end. Kids going to college for free, essentially. Our VA benefits are set for another year or two, like I've always told people. By the way, the government should be opening up real soon because 60 votes passed the Senate. Because I go to the House to get revised again. Then I think shortly after that should be on Trump's desk. We're going to talk more about that in a minute. But I want to talk about is, so who thinks it's a good idea? Knowing that ICE agents are on high alert, DHS or DHI, I don't know what you want to call them, are high alert. And then if you're on high alert all the fucking time, I can tell you this from example, you wait for anything, any small thing, and then you unleash hell. Well, somebody decided they wanted to shoot at Border Patrol, and they got away. No other shots were fired. And they expected them to just ignore it. I believe it was a 2-day manhunt to find this motherfucker, and they found him. At least that's what this report from News Nation says. Listen, DHS and Border Patrol have the biggest budget right now, aside from the United States military. You really want to go fuck with them even more? They're giving out $50,000 bonuses to people that want to be border patrol. It's like being in the military. And when you're under high stress, it takes a spark to unleash the full fury. Sorry, this is probably going to be a lot of throwbacks. Well, not throwbacks, but me, you know what I mean.
We are following some breaking news. A suspect in custody after officials say someone opened fire on Border Patrol agents over the weekend in Chicago. We're learning that a so-called shoot-on-sight order was allegedly issued by a gang directed at agents carrying out Operation Midway. Let's get right out to NewsNation's Allie Bradley, who is following the very latest on this. Allie, what more do you know about this arrest?
Yeah, hey, Nicole. So shots were allegedly fired at Border Patrol agents in Chicago's Little Village neighborhood on Saturday over the weekend. Now our DHS sources say that a person in connection with that shooting is now in custody. What they're saying is that he's an illegal immigrant felon from Mexico. He was apparently inside of that Jeep with a gun, but they're working right now to confirm that he is, in fact, the one who fired shots. So this manhunt isn't necessarily...
So if he wasn't the one that fired the shots, but he is a felon in possession of a firearm, Brandon Johnson's going to make sure he lets this guy go, right?
Over just yet. But here's what DHS is saying happened. They're saying that agents that were conducting immigration enforcement near 26 and Ked where someone in a black Jeep opened fire and then actually took off from the scene. DHS also says people nearby threw bricks and even a paint can at Border Patrol vehicles. Chicago police...
Yeah, you don't see those in the videos.
Secured the scene there. No one was actually hit by that gunfire. One CPD officer, though, was accidentally struck by a pickup truck. That officer is expected to be okay. The driver did receive a citation. But people who live in that area, though, they're accusing federal agents of continuing to be too aggressive. Take a listen to what they had to say.
Each and every single time, they left destruction in their wake. They left traumatized people in their wake.
Yesterday, community members witnessed ICE and CBP agents shoot pepper balls, use tear gas.
Because they were shot at, you fucking retard.
So residents are increasingly frustrated, too, with Operation Midway Blitz. One man sharing his story on how he was in the car with his family on the way to the store, and they were actually pepper sprayed, and that included exposure to his one-year-old daughter as well. And this all comes as a judge ruled just last week that a temporary restraining order that included tactical differences where agents could and couldn't use some of their tactics like using pepper spray. That order, Nicole, is going to stay in place for the foreseeable future. That one is still playing out in court right now, Nicole.
All right, so
I want to watch Chicago burn now.
We also know that DHS is reporting that there was this increase in threats against federal agents, against officers,
New York City.
including this
Let them have California.
shoot-on-sight order. What more can you tell us?
Yeah, so that's an order that actually came out in an internal alert that our sources were able to provide to us, showing that that is what they're being directed. According to this alert, Customs and Border Protection received credible information that Latin King's leadership has issued a, quote, shoot-on-sight directive targeting immigration officers, specifically working Operation Midway Blitz in Chicago and surrounding areas. So we did get a response from DHS who says in part, quote, nearly every day we have seen violence, assaults, or smears against our officers in Chicago, including yesterday, meaning Saturday, when agents' vehicles were rammed multiple times and shots were fired at them. Now, agents have been warned to stay hyper-vigilant, of course, as they're out there conducting these operations, kind of head on a swivel there as this shoot-on-sight order has been given. When it comes to the Latin Kings, we're talking about 20 to 35,000 members across the country. They're active in 34 different states. Now, I asked Chief Gregory Bovino, who's running these operations, what he had to say about that shoot-on-sight order. Here's a quote from him. He says, Latin Kings have messed with the worst group possible. He's saying they will degrade, dismantle, and destroy them. Nicole?
All right, Allie Bradley, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below.
Well, if you think about it, Juniper, you're absolutely right, because
murderers don't go to jail.
Terror
well,
is,
first off, not all murders.
Putting the fear in someone to with force or fear. You know what I mean? I can't really think of what it was, but that's the general thing for fear or terrorism. Basically, it's in the word terror. Terrorize. Oops, sorry, buddy. But it's okay, right? As long as they're going against Trump and, you know, rich white people, or, you know, anything that has to do with preserving Americans or American lives or American interests or American businesses, American families, pretty much anything American. Because of gangs, we get more government. If they started punishing gangs, nah, fuck it. I feel like the Hodge twins right now when they're high on shrooms.
Created equal.
Okay, so this is Cam Higbee in Portland. You can tell because the fucking gate in the background, the fucking bubbles everywhere, this fucking... Look at those glasses. Like, those are literally Coke bottles that they just cut the tips off. But she wants murderers.
Should murderers go to jail or no?
If we're talking about somebody actually, like, responsible for an actual murder,
Yeah.
I think we need something than jail.
What,
How
like
many
what?
murders have gone to jail and then come back out and murdered somebody else?
I don't know, but like, what's the alternative? What's the
Those
alternative?
glasses are
I
so
think you should look to
fucking
your history books
stupid.
for that.
No, just tell me.
We went through millennia of existence without the modern prison system.
What do we do? Kill him?
No.
Then what do we do with them?
Restorative justice systems like we used to.
Like what? But what's the
We used to
solution?
murder them.
I'm not giving you an entire criminal justice lesson.
We need to have justice system like we used to. You would finish getting court and you would get hanged. Are you stupid? Where's your tooth?
Just tell me, if you don't send him to jail, where do you send him?
Huh?
If you don't send him to jail, where do you send him?
Where do you send them? Why do we need to specifically send them somewhere?
Well, they should be on the streets after they've murdered somebody, surely.
Depends.
All right, guys, you're going to hear vet talk. So if you're offended, I'm not sorry. I really am not. Because you know what? If you're offended, then why you're fucking pussies. What's up, bro?
No, murderers shouldn't be on the street. It doesn't depend at all.
I think it depends.
I don't think it depends at all. If you kill somebody, you should be in jail. It's not self-defense.
I think I might be too radical for you to be talking
So
to
you
here,
disagree with that premise?
I mean, no, not radical.
Murderers should not.
I think radical is like another word for totally fucking retarded. Right? It's okay. We just need to let murderers, you know, give them a chance. Putting them in jail, they come out and they fucking murder again.
Be on the streets?
That murderers are on the streets right now.
But do you think we should make
Why?
it so they're not on the streets?
No. I believe in restorative justice.
Let them walk free.
Punitive justice does not do anything
Let them
to
walk
protect
free.
our communities.
Let them walk free then.
I don't say that there shouldn't be any consequences, but I don't think that incarceration is the right one.
But let them walk free. Let them walk free.
With restrictions, but yeah.
Like
I
what?
don't need
Murderers walk free.
Huh?
Murderers walk free, yeah.
Like they do now, yeah. Murderers walk free every day.
And that's
Did
the
you know in
problem.
Absolutely
United States
insane.
You have 50% chance of getting away with your first murder.
I don't care. My premise is that murderers.
Wait. So there's a 50% chance I'll get away with my first murder. I mean, this is not Minecraft. Like, this is real talk. Like, from what she's saying, I can murder someone and I would go free because it was my first time. Not in the South. Not in the South.
Should go to jail. They should be removed from the streets. You disagree with that?
My premise is that our current way of handling murderers and our punitive justice system does not work.
Because you think you don't agree with sending them to jail.
Well, okay, do you know what caused the most violent crime?
What has the most violent crime?
What caused the most violent crime?
Retard.
I don't care. What is it?
Poverty.
That is not true.
It is true. If you go and you look at
Okay.
the statistics and the data from
So then why is it that the black community committed less crime under Jim Crow when they were poorer than they do now when they have more money? Why is that the case?
Same reason why illegal immigrants are have the lowest crime rates in the United States.
But they
That's not
don't.
true. They disproportionately commit crime.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do. Look at El Paso. Look at Kinney County, Texas. No,
It's
you
kind of
haven't.
like saying the 13% has the most crime in the United States. Illegals have a higher crime rate in the United States, but they were let go. Or they were dropped to lesser charges, like those fucking 5 teens that jumped the cops in Times Square. Released that night as they were smiling and laughing.
In Kinney County, Texas, there are more crimes committed by illegal immigrants than there are people living in the county. In El Paso, it accounts for about half of all crime. Extremely disproportionate.
That's because Juarez is
You
right
got 2 places in Texas. Got
Right.
any more than that?
Hey,
What
yeah.
about the entire country?
Virtually every you can't do every state in the country. You know why? Because if you had done any research into the criminality of illegal immigrants, you would know that there is only one state in this entire country that sorts crime data based on immigration status. What state is it? It's Texas. You've never looked into it. You would know that every study about criminality of illegal immigrants is based out of the Texas Department of Public Safety.
I have looked into
You
it.
haven't, or you would know that. This is like criminality of illegal immigrants 101. It's the first thing you learn when you start looking into this. There's only one state that tracks the data. Texas.
Oh,
Go
that's
try.
your issue. You only look at the first thing they tell you. You don't look deeper.
No, I've looked at every study. I've looked at studies that support your claim.
Well, that's the thing. If you look at the first thing they tell you, right, then you can go, wait a second, that sounds stupid, or that sounds too good to be true, and then you look, and then you look, and then you look. That's why when it comes up, I'm going to say saying this, a lot of stuff that I absorb will randomly come out. It makes me sound smart, but maybe I'm just remembering everything I've read or watched combined together. Or maybe I'm just plugging it into the Matrix and, like, okay, I want to know this. Push a button and I'm good.
I've looked at studies that support my claim, and I've looked at the raw Texas Department of Public Safety data.
I grew up on MAGA. Both my parents
You
are
haven't
MAGA
looked into
Southern.
it. You haven't looked into
I
it.
have.
You have.
How old are you? If you grew up on MAGA. Jesus Christ, that tooth is killing me. I'll donate one of mine to you because I'm kind of older and I don't really need it. You want one of my teeth? Huh? Then again, it might be a little too American for you. A little too right for you. That sounded bad.
I have.
You think that murderers should walk free?
I think murder should be dealt with in an actual just and humane way that protects
Like
our
letting them
people.
walk free? Like letting them walk
not
free?
imprisoning them.
Okay, then what's the alternative that would protect the people?
Restorative justice program.
I used to hate that when soldiers, anytime you said something, they're like, huh? Or, Fucking kids would do it. They don't do it now. I fucking hate that.
What is that?
Okay, we need programs that help end poverty, to bring people out of poverty so people don't feel the
But
need
when
to
somebody
file.
commits
Like
murder,
what, more government?
What do you do about that? The majority of murderers are committed out of the heat of passion, not because of poverty. Okay? So the majority of murders happen because you're mad at somebody, not
You
poverty.
talk about, yes. Most
But
of those
she's got
fits of
nappy ass
passion,
dirty
though,
hair.
also have triggers.
Okay, so what do you do with them after they killed somebody? You don't send them to jail. What do you do with them?
Well, first, figure out why they did it.
Oh,
first
Jesus
you
Christ.
You do something with them, so they're not in the streets killing more people. What do you do with them?
First, you talk to them.
No. You have to take them somewhere. They can't be on the streets after they've killed somebody. What do you
No,
do with
you're
them?
making the assertion that they have to be taken off the streets.
Yes.
They do.
Murderers, yes, have to be taken off the streets, yeah.
Really? Because I see all of the time murderers just sitting in their homes, sitting on the sidewalk.
They should be sent to jail. They shouldn't be on the streets.
Having these conversations with officers. They don't need to go to a prison to have this conversation.
They need to go to a jail until they can be tried. Because they can't be on the streets after they've killed somebody. It's dangerous.
Oh my God.
There's lots of people that are on the streets that are dangerous.
Okay,
that
so
have-
you're defending murderers. Let's get that straight. You're defending murderers right now.
Killed other people are like, by definition, the most dangerous people in society.
She doesn't think they should go to jail,
I know what you're
murderers.
doing.
I personally think that the most dangerous thing in society will always be our government. That was what I was raised to believe, and I will never stop.
That is ridiculous. That is redonkulous.
I thought you grew up
think that the
MAGA.
government will always be the most dangerous thing in
I think you are out of your mind.
Democrats had nothing
Oh.
to do with it.
All right. So now that the Democrats, quote unquote, caved, liberals are all pissed off at Chuck Schumer and the 10 Democrats that voted to go open the government. You'd think people would be happy that they finally opened up the government and, benefits and people are getting paid now. But no. And this bitch right here, she's got a lot of fucking shit to talk. Well, she can't. Because I guarantee you, once her husband gets convicted of those RICO charges for frauding the insurance companies for creating fake surgeries that never happened, procedures, those RICO charges, I bet you're going to be asking Trump for a fucking pardon. Sonny, you act like you're all good and proper, you don't do anything wrong in your life. Your husband is probably why you have a lot more money. He's under RICO. He's been under RICO. Stop.
I want an opposition party. I think the Democrats caved. I think the Democrats let down the American people.
A rich person who doesn't have any invested
I have
interest.
absolutely no faith that the Republican Party will come to the negotiating table in good faith. You do something like this, shame on you the first time. You do it twice, 3 times, 4 times, shame on me. Shame on the Democrats for even believing that the Republicans will, even vote on it. There's no guarantee in this New Deal that there's going to be a vote. There's no
There actually is a guarantee
to have a vote.
There is a guarantee. So what are you talking about? That there is guaranteed to be a vote. Did you miss that part? And it's before the end of the year.
The bottom line is the Democrats went into this after a blue wave out of the American people saying we.
Not a blue wave, a blue ripple. That's not a blue wave.
Do want the opposition. The working people want the Democratic Party to fight for them. And now they just caved and surrendered. I think Chuck Schumer, his days are over.
40 days you shut the government down, and now you're going to open the government up. And what did you get in return? Right. Nothing? Right. Nothing? After the pain you inflicted?
Listen, what did the Democrats get in return? They don't care about the people. They just said it right there. What did the Democrats get in return? It's not about the people, guys. It's a game.
People were willing to take the pain. I talked to union workers from TSA who said, I'll take the pain if it's going to help me to get health insurance subsidies paid. So you get nothing in return.
Cynical person would say that Democrats won the election, that's what changed.
Yeah, Republicans are going to say that.
That's exactly what they're going to say. I don't know what their response, a real response, is going to be to that because it's not apparent. It looks like they folded.
In the wake of the election on Tuesday, the president made remarks saying basically, wow, Republicans are being harmed by all of this, acknowledging that he was on his back foot. And now here he is winning again? How did he do it?
I don't understand how a Democratic senator goes, wow, we won really big. Let me cave now. I don't understand. That makes no sense to me.
We need these.
Because he was probably thinking about his constituents, not their own fucking party. People over party. That's what it should be. But it's not.
Subsidies desperately, right? Who has SNAP, these are people who
she
desperately
looks like
need SNAP
Roger
benefits.
from
They're hurting their own constituents.
American
And yet,
Dad.
should Chuck Schumer go? And yet, yes, Chuck Schumer should go. I'm sorry to say Chuck Schumer should go. I voted for him many times. He's no longer capable of running.
Look,
this
it's Roger.
caucus. He's no longer capable of leading the
We
Democratic
see you.
Party. I mean, I'm an establishment Democrat, and I'm here to say that Bernie Sanders is much more in line with where I and many other Democrats are
You're a
today
socialist.
than Chuck Schumer is.
Not
And
an
that just to underscore exactly how furious Democrats are today for putting the country through this without having an out.
Now, would Democrats in the Senate decide to lay down their arms, potentially end this shutdown, when the terms that are being offered by Republicans don't seem to have changed?
I can't explain it because, to be frank, to me, it makes absolutely no sense. I'm completely perplexed by today's developments, or really the developments of the last few hours. On Tuesday, we essentially had the proof that the American people overwhelmingly were on the Democrats' side of this argument.
Yo, they're trying to make it look like it was a blue wave, but it was a ripple. Especially when you think about all those elections were deep blue elections anyway, except for Virginia. But Virginia, it's weird. They voted for, Democrats believe in DEI, but you know how I said DEI always benefited the white woman? Well, again, in Virginia, they had a black female running against a white woman. Democrats voted for the white woman. Wait. So identity politics, wait, how did... So here's another story of a guy who likes to go around taking one bite of pizza and thinking he's really fucking cool. Apparently he doesn't like it when you say fuck the Jews. I mean, this is America, right? I can say fuck the Jews. Just like you watch the people on the streets, fuck the white man, fuck the black man, fuck the Hispanics, fuck the gays, fuck the trannies. Yeah, fuck you guys. Fuck pedophiles, destroy them. You can say all those. You can say all those. Let's watch the first half of what we're going to talk about for this segment. And then the second half, which kind of pisses me off, because you can't say any bad thing about those people. And it sounds like they really are cracking down on it.
Good char. I don't know if this guy remade it, now that I'm thinking it, because he hand-delivered this thing out. Is this how they all look? Yeah. All right. Is this the best spot in Starkville?
100%. Don't talk us through about Megan.
Good. It's a one napkin art to get a little bit of the oil off. But I love the char around the crust. I love that. I'm gonna go 7-2. I think that's a fair score. Crowd likes it. Crowd likes it. Starkville 7-2. Pretty good. All right, that's a review. Supposedly, be able to watch some alumni baseball game tonight. I don't know what that's all about, so I'm excited. So far, so good. Again, Brandon Walker, I hate him so much. He's like made me want to hate Starkville, but so far I like it. With Why come in the camera, buddy? Why come here? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come on.
I shouldn't be allowed to make those jokes, right? I should be putting handcuffs. That's what you said.
No, handcuffs. No, you can
That's
joke.
what you said. That's what you said. Your employees.
You did come back, but you have one of your boys push him
I
away.
said handcuffs.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
weird.
You said it should be a crime.
In what? I'll only take that down from what, 7-2? No, we'll keep it 7-2. 7-2. By the way, you're by yourself.
That means he's got balls.
He said the Jews and threw at me. No, that's all right. That's all right. There's assholes everywhere you go. Still gonna stick at 7-2. That's a review. Won't take it away. And by the way,
now that we've seen that, let's take a look at what else happened that obviously didn't show on New York Post.
Who is running the public relations for Jewish people? I'd fire that president. I'd fire that. But go look at the polling. When it comes to young people, 20-year-olds, when it comes to Israel or Jewish people, and both sides of the aisles, the Democrats and the Republicans, not big fans. But Dave Portnoy, he's going to fix that today, guys. He's got a mission, right? A mission from Israel, and he's going to fix. No, he's not going to fix it. He's going to pour fuel on the fire over here. He's going to have a 20-year-old arrested for saying something mean to him. And so, again, Dave Portnoy is a dude who I guess made a lot of money doing pizza reviews. That's incredible. God bless America. You should be America
And didn't
first.
he found Barstool?
I don't think that's going to be a way to make millions in Israel. But anyway, He is a Jewish man who does pizza reviews, and he's very Jewish, right? Very, very Jewish.
Oh, yeah. Now I know what the guy threw, but I don't think he threw him at Dave. But you're going to see why.
Dave Portnoy's alleged heckler has been arrested and charged in Mississippi. Hold on, what happened? What?
Well, so I used to always joke about it. How do you get a bunch of Jews to start fighting? Just throw a bunch of pennies at them.
Doing a pizza review, and a 20-year-old goes by. He throws coins on the ground, and then he shouts, "Fuck the Jews." And Dave Portnoy says, "I'm going to have you arrested," and then gets him arrested. Obviously, the 20-year-old, you shouldn't throw stuff at people. He didn't hit him because people are saying that the kid should be charged with assault and a hate crime for throwing coins at Dave Portnoy. He threw coins at the ground. We have the video. He didn't throw them. That's a dumb thing to do, by the way. That's a dumb, stupid, you shouldn't do that. And then he shouts, "Fuck the Jews." None of this is illegal. It's not great behavior. It's not illegal, but he gets arrested again. When your people, when there's a conspiracy that your people run things and you're not allowed to question them, you're not allowed to criticize them.
I get this is like the whole freedom of speech, freedom of consequences thing. But when they hold on. When they cherry pick who you can and can't make fun of, that's really a problem. You can't have the double standards. Because you think about it, both sides are like, "Oh, free speech, free speech." But then there's one certain group who we will not mention because fuck it, it's the Jews. You can't say anything bad about them because why? Do they really run everything? Well, they run the media. They run the music industry. And they run the film industry. So yeah, it's kind of like them controlling everything. Not to mention AIPAC. Let's continue.
When that conspiracy seems to be true because this kid's now arrested for disorderly conduct. The only person ever in Mississippi arrested for disorderly conduct. You're not, again, helping yourself with the conspiracies out there. Man accused of throwing coins and shouting "Fuck the Jews" at Dave Portnoy outside Mississippi Pizza Shop has been charged, according to TMZ. Charged with disturbing the peace. Every person has a right to feel safe and respected in our community. I agree, but you're going to arrest this kid now has a charge for throwing coins and saying mean things? There are plenty of videos of you leftards, by the way, screaming "Kill Whitey." All of the white people suck.
Everywhere.
You should die. Again, I can't have any of you arrested for that. There's no disorderly conduct when you're screaming "Kill Whitey" at your Barons of the Vanish nonsense. Which again, kind of, it invokes conspiracy that you can't criticize a certain place or you'll be arrested. Well, this doesn't help your situation with those conspiracies. Offensive words alone are protected. Yeah. But when behavior disrupts a public event or risks violence, the police will take steps to help maintain safety and security. So this wasn't a public event. This is a private citizen doing a private pizza review for his YouTube channel. It's not a public event with public taxpayers. No. And boy, certainly wasn't risking safety. Let's go take a look at Dave Portnoy. And wow. There you go. He's got a tiny little hammer. And he's going, there you go. He's doing some maintenance. Some maintenance, if you will. Nope.
Wait. Dylan, why are you still...
He has eye protection on. He got eye protection on. Okay. Yeah. There wasn't ever going to be any violence. Dave Portnoy ain't doing anything. And I think that this is one of those cases where that's how you solve stuff like this. This 20-year-old comes up to you, he throws coins at your feet, and he says, "Fuck the Jews." Dave Portnoy should have said, "Yeah, that's fighting words. Let's engage in mutual."
Yeah, he should have engaged in mutual combat. But they never did say if he picked up the coins and put them in his pocket or not. I mean, inquiring minds would like to know.
combat. Officers, we're engaging in mutual combat. You agree? You agree? And then fight it out like men used to. But no, Dave's going to try to threaten
Run straight to the police.
to end this dude's life. Watch this with the camera, by the way, with wokeness.
I like it. Hey, fuck the Jews! Fuck you, Dave.
Not cool. Why you come in the camera, buddy?
Come in the camera, buddy.
Why you come here?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, come in the camera. So, fuck the Jews is a reference to somebody holding up a sign in Dave Portnoy's restaurant that says fuck the Jews, and turned out to be an employee. And Dave went and made a whole bunch of videos. He was going to force the employee to go to the Auschwitz Museum. And Dave could have just fired the dude. He could have said, hey, you held a sign up at my restaurant that said fuck the Jews? Yeah, you're obviously fired. And just fired the person. But he tried to make a gigantic spectacle and ruin the person's life. So now, because how the internet works, people are going, it's a meme. It's a meme.
He brought it upon himself, though.
He probably couldn't find Israel on a map. But he knows that phrase is going to trigger Dave Portnoy and throwing coins. And now he got Dave to do exactly what he wanted him to do. And you are never going to be able to film a pizza review out in public, dude, without people. This is
like the second time I know for sure.
You're going to make this a bigger thing. You should have just fired that employee in the privacy of your own office.
Got him arrested for public nuisance, I think.
Questions?
But that's fucking wild. Because you see all the time on the news. Fuck this race. Fuck this group. Fuck them. Fuck you. Fuck me. Wait. You're cool. But you say one thing like, fuck the Jews. And that's it. How do you people not see this? Remember what they said. Pam Bondi wants to arrest anybody who makes anti-Semitic remarks. She wants to punish you. Me. If we say those. It's on record. It happened. She said it. And SEALs were applauding it. Anyway. So, this question was asked to Trump yesterday about reopening the government, and I don't know if I touched on it yesterday or not, or if I just was starting to, but Donald Trump wants to use the money saved from this Obamacare stuff and give the money straight to the people so they can purchase their own insurance. That actually sounds like a way better idea, and these big health insurance companies would, start charging better prices to be competitive. Instead of making it just all these little ones, or these big ones, and they're the ones that rip people off. That's how you want to bring healthcare costs down? You also might want to stop giving healthcare to illegals. But then again, maybe it's cheaper not to have health insurance. What? We'll talk about that one too. Someone brought it up in another channel, and I just want to run it by you. But this is...
Many senators that are here, Mr. President, do you personally approve of the deal that's happening right now on Capitol Hill to end the government
Well, it
shutdown?
depends what we're talking about, but if it's a deal I heard about, that's certainly, they want to change the deal a little bit, but I would say so. I think based on everything I'm hearing, they haven't changed anything, and we have support from enough Democrats, and we're going to be opening up our country. It's too bad it was closed, but we'll be opening up our country very quickly.
Mr. President, that deal does reverse the mass firings your administration put through during the shutdown. Did you sign off on that, and will you abide by?
This is one of the concessions that they did give. And they're mad about that. This what's coming he's about to say. Because it was in this bill that he would rehire all the furloughed employees.
That if this passes.
Well, I will be. I'll abide by the deal. The deal is very good. We're not going to be giving $1.5 trillion to people that came in from jails and from, the gangs and drug dealers and all of these others that They wanted to be given health care, which would have hurt our health care system. I hope that we're going to be able to have a health care where Lindsay and I were discussing it, Jim and I were discussing it, and Katie, we discussed it. We want a health care system where we pay the money to the people instead of the insurance companies. And I tell you, we're going to be working on that very hard over the next short period of time, where the people...
Yeah, he did a Truth Social. I was going to bring it up yesterday, but he hadn't made the official announcement. So I was like, let me hold off on that one. Hold up. Wait a minute. You like that? Huh? Nail stain cleaners are a must.
Honestly, can I put it in plain words for you? And you're a smart guy, so you'll understand, but a lot of people don't. The Democrats are getting killed on the shutdown because we're closing up programs that are Democrat programs that we were opposed to. So we're being able, and they're never going to come back in many cases.
You know, I'm gonna switch
so
this
we're
one.
being able to do things.
You're not gonna like this, but
I can't believe you.
Or just the
Well, anybody. Violent rioters.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Gangsters,
Okay, that's fair.
murderers,
That's fair.
robbers, burglars.
But do we think that the people who are being deported, besides the ones?
Oh, they're
who,
bad guys too, but they're not as bad of guys.
Okay,
Right?
but do you think the way that they're being treated is fair?
Yes.
You think that's
Hey,
humane?
their
You
first
think that
action-
People who let's just compare where they started.
Yep.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I didn't.
You're
mean
good.
to. People from where they started. They're probably, some of these people are fleeing to get to a better place for a better economic status. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we want out of America.
Well, that sucks.
We
But
want-
what if I lived in a double wide trailer and I said I need to flee my double wide trailer to get into a better place, and I went and lived in your family's home? Is that just what I did, or do you have the right to violently remove me? Because I think you should put a gun to my face and kick me out of your house. That's what I would do to somebody who did that.
I feel like that's like, I'm not really sure where the comparison
The comparison is that you're saying because they're fleeing a bad situation and woe is me and it sucks to be them, that they have the right to just enter the United States and reside here illegally. If I live in a shitty situation, I don't think that I have the right to leave my shitty situation and make your good situation my shitty situation.
I think it's actually making people's situations better. I think our GDP has increased when we have.
Ooh, here we go.
Okay, but that's not okay. Well, you have to differentiate legal immigrants and illegal immigrants, and also having a better economy is not justification to do something bad, right?
No, it isn't.
What happened after we abolished slavery? The entire economy of the South collapsed. Doesn't mean we shouldn't have abolished slavery just because there were economic repercussions to it. The majority of illegal immigrants live.
They want the economy to collapse because that's how they take over. They destabilize the government, destabilize the currency, and then they come in and they change everything to fit them, making you poorer or better, depending on who comes and takes over. But if they're destabilizing your government, which the United States loves to do, it's done for a reason. It's to kill the economy and the people. Not as in the sense of killing people, but kind of that way too.
In this country are slaves. They have to hire the cartel to come here. They need coyotes. They can't enter the United States. You have to cross a desert and evade law enforcement to come here illegally. You have to hire the cartel to do that for you. The overwhelming majority of illegals had to hire the cartel to get them here. Okay, so they are actively paying off a debt to the cartel, because when they go to the cartel, like you just said, in their poor, crappy situation, what they do is they tell the cartel, "I don't have any money, but can you get me there?" And the cartel says, "I understand that you're broke, and that's fine. We'll take you. You're going to pay us back later." Okay, so they're already getting paid virtually nothing by the farmers and factories that hire them, and then what's left over goes to the cartel. And the cartel says, if you don't pay me back, I will murder you or your family in Mexico, and I've seen the bodies.
This seems to be like, I feel like that's a really specific example that's
That's
like maybe
because it
just an
happens.
outlier among like.
It's not an outlier. I've filmed 3 separate documentaries on the southern border in Texas.
And it's
this is
also
what
like
happens.
There are more criminals statistically that exist in the United States compared to like the ones that, if you don't count obviously like illegally crossing the border is a crime, just like they're trying to seek a better place.
It's not true. Illegal immigrants disproportionately commit crime. If you look at Kinney County, Texas, there are more crimes committed by illegal immigrants in Kinney County, Texas than there are people living in the county. You look at El Paso, Texas, it's about 46% of all crime are committed by illegal immigrants. When you look at counties that have a lot of illegal immigrants, they disproportionately commit crimes every single time. And again, 100% of them are criminals. There's no reason why we should exclude their first action entering this country being blatantly disrespecting and disregarding the laws of this
I don't
country
think they're
and spitting in the
disrespecting.
face of every legal immigrant.
They're just as human, just as anyone else who walks
Wait, so you don't think that it's disrespectful to walk into a country and violate its laws? Because I do.
Well, it's also like it's one law, and I think they're also trying to just make them. Yeah. make themselves like a better life.
That's
I
cool.
think
But again,
people want,
if
like-
I want to make myself a better life, that doesn't mean I have the right to steal from you.
But we're not. What are you stealing when you're crossing the border?
Well, we can start with,
You
according
go
to the
out
House
and earn it
Committee
like I
on
did.
Budget, the net fiscal drain of an illegal immigrant is $70,000 per person. So that's number one. They drain $70,000 per person
That's more
from
than
the
I
U.S.
make a
economy.
year.
That's taxes paid minus social welfare used. So they are stealing from us. But also, they don't have a right to come into our space illegally and occupy it. That's what they're doing. I don't have a right to leave my bad house and go to your good house and occupy it.
Yeah, and I also think like, okay, like I think personally, I guess if it was just me, like I wouldn't really have a problem with that. But I do agree.
You would
with
have you wouldn't
I
have a
do-
problem with somebody entering your house and staying there illegally?
Okay, but I don't think that's like all scenarios.
No, I'm just saying, would you have a problem with that?
Would I have a problem with that?
I can't believe you even have to think about it.
I mean, it's also
If somebody
human.
walks
it's a
in,
human being.
if somebody
It's a
walks,
human being.
let's put
I'm
it this
sorry.
way: if somebody walks into my house without my permission, they're going to be shot with a 12-gauge shotgun.
Okay.
Every single time. You don't have a right to walk into my house where my family lives and decide you're going to set up camp. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you have
I
on
also
you.
don't
I don't know your intentions. I'm going to shoot you.
I also just don't.
Yo, what if, right? All this was a plan. Joe let the illegals in. They had to build housing for all these illegals, low income housing, right? Deport them all. Think about it. We can put the homeless and veterans in those housing. Because what's going to happen with them? Torn down? Abandoned? Just a thought. It's just a thought. And they still have to pay the rent. That's why it's low income. But you need a job.
Take violence as my first action. That's just me morally.
When I have a woman behind me that I need to protect, I do take violence
I
as my
don't-
first option.
I don't know if I've seen or even heard of that, but I will now check into it. And maybe that's why they dropped it from $1,500 to $240.
And when the government, it's the same situation. When somebody comes into this country without permission, we
How
don't
you
know their
doing, Mark?
intentions. We don't know what they
By the
have
way.
on them. We don't know what they brought here because they entered the country without inspection. The government is me standing in front of my girlfriend. They're standing in front of their people, protecting them. And that's why those people get deported and taken out.
And it's just like,
and they actually meet them with less violence than I would meet somebody with.
I think that there's a bigger issue with this is that, like, a part of it too is I don't know if you agree with me on this, that citizenship needs to be easier to get.
No.
I could not
I disagree.
agree less.
You don't agree with that?
No, it shouldn't be easy to be an American citizen.
Why?
Why should it be easy to be an American citizen?
Because
if it was easy to be an American citizen, everybody would be one. Right? We can't take in the world's
Think
population.
Germany,
It
all
needs to
you
be difficult
did
to be
live for
a
like
citizen
5
here.
or 10
By the way,
years.
it's not
You can
difficult to get
apply.
permanent. As of right now, it's not difficult to get permanent residency here. It takes less than a year, and then once you're a permanent resident.
He's right. It's gotten better. You can get it in less than a year if you do everything the right way. And people make mistakes, hiccups. They have to redo documents and shit like that. But True Blue, like I wasn't a True Blue. I think we had to set up a different physical at an American-based hospital, but it doesn't matter. And then the citizenship test, you got to be first you got to be in country for 10 years, and then you got to apply. Pretty much the same process all over again, and then they do a question session. They only ask between 1 to 5 questions, so maybe that should be the easy part, and it costs money.
It takes 5 years minimum to become a citizen.
I feel
Actually,
like
10
having
years.
citizenship would also lower a lot of the problems, and it is a more humane way of treating
The only
this,
way
where-
you can shorten that is if you join the United States military and you go under that citizenship program.
where it's like, okay, there wouldn't be. Do you think there would be like less illegal crossings if citizenship was easier to apply
So if
for,
somebody wanted to come into my house and take my things, I don't say, well, I could solve the problem of people robbing me if I just went out into the streets and gave things away. Right? I don't solve crime by giving to the criminals.
So we're inherently believing that the people who are entering the country are like trying to be criminals. They're trying to.
They are no. It's not that they're trying to be criminals. They are criminals, and they actively tried to get there. They are everyone who's entered this country illegally has violated U.S. Code 1325, proper entry by alien. It's been federal code
at all. I definitely wasn't a rich person when I applied for my wife's green card. I made what, $24,000 a year, maybe 25. She obviously wasn't a rich person. She came from a smaller part. Well, no. I would say a more poorer part of the country than mine where we first met. Because I actually came from a little bit of a richer, uppity portion. Basically, the military academy. That's fucking weird. It's not cheap.
It's
Let's
1940s.
Can happen.
That it's an illegal immigrant.
Why would we remove that?
From a moral standpoint.
Why would we remove that?
They're a human being. They're a human being. Yes,
Yes.
they have committed the crime of illegally crossing
Yes.
the border. We can both agree
Yes.
upon that. But other than that, what have they done wrong? Like, what have they done wrong? Like, what have they done to harm you specifically?
Yeah. Okay.
Like-
so let me just give you like a quick analogy. When I go to bed at night, what do?
Sleep.
Nope.
Right?
I close my door, I lock it, and I put a loaded gun on my nightstand. I don't want my
Under my
country to
bed,
leave its door open
my
any more
desk,
than I want my
front door.
own door open at night, right? We don't know who's coming here. There are national security risks. There are net fiscal drains on the U.S. economy. And they're also bringing things into this country that we don't want here and that are illegal here. Like there's enough opiates smuggled across, enough fentanyl smuggled across the U.S. southern border every single year to kill every single American by overdose. Furthermore, we don't know what guns they're bringing here, right? You guys want an assault
I
weapons
do.
ban, right? They can. You cross the border.
The guns they're bringing over here, guys, are the ones that were taken from Americans by the federal government. And under Operation Fast and Furious, under President Barack Obama, we sold them to the Mexican cartels. Oh, what? That actually happened? Yeah, and he got away with it. He got away with it.
Without inspection, you can bring anything here.
I mean, you don't know like anything that anybody here is bringing. Like, let's think about that too. At least people who are U.S. citizens. You don't know what anything that people are here.
No, but I
bringing,
know who
too.
these people are, right? If I needed to find out who these people are, right, the government can find them. Why? Because they're all registered citizens of this country. I bet everyone in this crowd has an ID in their pocket.
I would bet you that it's
an illegal
more
immigrant
likely,
doesn't.
I would bet you that it's more likely statistically that an American citizen would be more likely, to commit a violent crime than like an illegal immigrant.
Okay, what's your point? Why does that mean that we should allow illegal immigrants to commit violent
Because
crimes?
I'm not saying that it's right. I'm not saying no violent crime.
But,
is
and again,
right. Let's
I'll
take
point you to the only state in the country that classifies crime by immigration status, Texas. Look at Kinney County, Texas. There are more crimes committed by illegal immigrants than there are people living in the county.
That's Kinney County, Texas.
Okay,
Is
look
that
at El Paso,
representative
Texas.
of all the US? Is that representative of all the US, though?
Well, it has to be because it's the only state that classifies its arrest data by immigration status. No other state does it.
And it's one of the
None of
biggest, if not
It's
the
just
biggest.
Texas. Any study you will find about immigration and
Pretty
crime
sure Alaska
statistics
might be
in the
bigger.
United States will be all sourced from the Texas Department of Public Safety. All of them. Because they're the only police department that classifies their arrest by immigration status. And it's probably much more disproportionate than Texas can determine, because the only way they know a person's illegal is if the federal government has already arrested that person and deemed them an illegal immigrant. So there are probably lots of people who haven't been arrested by the federal government that are illegals that Texas just can't determine are illegals.
In what type of crime is it? Is it specifically that they've illegally crossed the border? Or is
No.
it just-
It's crimes on top of 8 U.S. Code 1325.
Okay. Fair enough. I would say that's a fair point. But I think again, like holistically, from what we're looking at here, I'm still willing to bet statistically across the country that a U.S. citizen is more likely to commit a crime. Like,
Well, we don't have any data on that, so you can't prove that. But either way, it doesn't disprove anything I'm saying, because it doesn't change
Right.
the fact that we.
Now to think about it, there is no data. Well, except for what he said in Texas. Texas is the only one that includes citizenship status.
Still shouldn't allow our door to be open. Again, I don't leave my door open at night.
I mean, we're under this presupposition that it's like that.
Even if my girlfriend is more likely to steal my candy while I'm sleeping, right? I still don't leave my front door open.
Yeah, and I'm not saying leave your front door open. Like,
well, the front door of the country was open for 4 years, and it's what you're arguing for.
I feel like this is also like it's a human being, and it's not like no one's allowing you. Oh, let me just open your door and let me open.
Let's try
your
this
house.
route. Let's try this route. Do you believe in border laws?
Do I believe in border laws?
Yes.
Yes, I do believe in border laws.
You believe there should be a border?
I do believe that there should be
Okay, and you
border,
believe
yeah.
that the U.S. government should vet who comes through that border?
Yeah. To
Okay.
some extent.
Okay,
So
but what's
if
the deal?
deportation is not the consequence for violating the border law, because
Oh,
we have
I
one.
think-
One second. Let me finish the question.
Yeah.
We have 8 U.S. Code 1325, improper entry by alien, which is a law that says it's illegal to come into this country without inspection or permission of an immigration official. It seems like you support that. So if you don't enforce your laws, you don't have laws. So what I would ask you is, what consequence do you think violators of that law should be given?
I do think that there should be some form of deportation, but the process should be much more kinder and much more
Like what?
humanistic.
Like what? We give them a lollipop
Kinder.
and a sandwich and send them on their way? Or
I mean, that's like going 100% one way and saying like,
What do you think
depicting
should
it
be
as like
kinder?
a black and white issue, as if like, oh, it's either this or it's that.
What do you think
There's
should be
always
kinder?
There's always a gray area.
What do you think should be kinder about the
What should I
situation?
think should be kinder? I just don't think the fact that they're a human being. I also just don't assume naturally that their intentions is to harm.
I don't care what their intentions are. If I shoot Lance in the face right now, it doesn't matter what my intentions of shooting him is. Right? I shot him. I go to jail.
You shot him. Yeah, I mean, but it's also I'm not really sure what the point of that
Yeah,
is.
maybe Lance has a wallet with $1,000 on it, and I have 3 starving children. Right? So I shoot Lance in the face and steal his wallet. My intentions were to feed my children, but it doesn't
But that's
matter because
also-
I killed
but
somebody.
That's just also like an argument out of absurdism more than
No.
it's like what actually.
So it's not an argument out of absurdism.
How many people have you seen in the news that get shot over like $5, $10, $20? Shit. I think there was one, not here, but I saw a story of it like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Because people get robbed in this country every day. But again, a reductio ad absurdum is a legitimate argument to test logical consistency. So even if it was a reductio ad absurdum, it doesn't matter.
Fair enough. I mean, I just think that it's also just not it's just not very humane, because there are not situations where someone's like, for example, like, oh, I'm crossing the border and then my immediate action. Okay, yeah, maybe there's an outlier example, but I don't think that's the general cases of what's happening. I think a
not an
lot of these
outlier,
people just
though,
want to
kid.
seek a better
But
life,
again-
a better job, and they're not trying to just like, because you're comparing crossing the border to opening like a physical door.
Again, their intentions don't matter. It doesn't matter why they decided to violate our laws. All that matters is they did. A gun.
But
It doesn't
those are
matter
two-
why
those
I
are
did it.
two
I still did
completely-
it.
That's violence versus something that is non-violent.
Okay. If I go and steal Lance's stuff right now in a non-violent fashion,
You
he
won't
leaves
do
it
it.
on the sidewalk and I steal it. Again, it doesn't matter why I stole it. It just matters that I did. It could have been to sell all his stuff and feed my family. It doesn't matter. I still did it and I still go to jail. You violate the law, you go to jail. If you don't enforce your laws, you don't have them.
Bad intentions. People crossing the border.
No, my intentions weren't bad. I wanted to feed my family, so I robbed Lance.
Okay, well then that's more of a governmental problem than I think it really is a problem with.
No, it's a problem
you
for
stealing.
everyone.
What
It's
does
a
that say about like socioeconomics then, I guess? It says more about
It doesn't
socioeconomics
matter.
than it does say about like border.
It doesn't matter how poor or in what bad a situation you're in. It does not make it permissible to violate other people's rights by stealing or harming them.
I don't think we're really violating other people's rights by it.
You think that me stealing Lance's stuff is not a violation of his right?
I think that situation is a violation of someone's rights, but I also think it speaks to a broader socioeconomic problem,
Oh, here we go.
governmental issue. Like,
wait, the socioeconomic problems of people in other countries is not our government's problem.
No, it isn't, but it's also like, just like if you look at like historically what the U.S. has represented, like the U.S. has represented like a place where people can go to get a better life. Like that's what symbolically
legally.
the U.S. has represented, and I think that's like
Yeah, we did that
that's an
when we needed
important
it. We
value.
don't need it anymore. We're full.
We're full.
We're
like
full.
there's a capacity point.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah.
If we overreach it, there's a capacity point.
Yeah, we already
I don't
have.
really understand that
we already
argument.
have tons of people in this country living below the poverty line. Why would we bring more poor people in from other poor countries?
Okay,
Does it
that's
make any
also-
sense?
That's also just like I think that's
More
more
government.
Like, again, that speaks to a broader issue about like how the government treats.
Right. So the
most
solution to
vulnerable.
that issue is not bringing in more poor people, right?
I don't think that's what the solution people are thinking of.
Okay,
I
but
think
you're,
we're talking about two
saying
completely
you're saying we have a
different things.
socioeconomic problem where there are lots of poor people, right?
Yeah.
And then you're also saying, wait, hold up, pause. And then you're also saying, let's bring in more poor people who are a net fiscal drain of $68,000 per person into this country so they can drain the social welfare systems we have set up for our people who aren't getting it.
I also just think that speaks to a bigger problem that doesn't necessarily pertain to immigrants. Like, I feel like that's a bit of a slippery slope we're going down. I think we do need to also treat our most vulnerable. We can do two things at once. We can kill two birds with one stone. We can bring across these immigrants and try to give them a better life.
Why?
Well, why?
Why?
Because it's human. They are human beings.
Okay. So if we go by that standard, there are several billion people in this country living below the abject poverty line.
Yeah, I think that's
we don't just bring them all in because they're humans, right?
I think that's a
we don't
problem.
have the capacity to take in 2 billion people.
We're talking about two different things. That is a problem. And
But you're saying we should just bring in anyone because they're people and they need a better life.
Yeah,
doesn't make
I
any
think
sense.
that's a great
Right. So there are 2 billion people living in poverty in this world. You can't bring in 2 billion people to the United States.
Well, no, 2 billion people also aren't asking to live in the United States.
Do you think that 2 billion people would deny the offer to come live in the United States? Because I don't.
No, I don't think they would. But
Okay,
there's
great.
also a lot
So-
of political and different factors.
So
that
do you see the
surround
problem
it.
with your reasoning? Just bring in everybody. Bring in everybody because they're people.
Now
Doesn't make any sense.
Now he wants to bring in political factors. But I thought everybody just wanted to come here. If we just brought them all in, you think these communist countries would be like, no. You can't have my impoverished people. You'd be like, oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
What do you mean?
It's not practically possible.
Sure, it's not practically.
The country would collapse.
Sure, and that's why I'm also saying that there needs to be more government intervention.
No, there it is.
Treating the people who are most vulnerable in the country already.
Right.
More government.
And you can't do that when you import a bunch of poor people.
Yeah.
We can't control the socioeconomic circumstances of people in other countries, nor
Morning,
should we
man.
try.
How are you doing
right?
Tuesday
So
morning where you're
those
at?
people can't come here. You don't violate the laws of this country. If you violate the laws of this country, you're out.
But
and also, you're spitting in the face of legal immigrants.
And we're acting like that. This is oh, they're people oh, they've really done this evil, immoral action, by crossing the border, looking for something.
I
better.
never said it was evil,
Not evil.
or
Then
immoral.
why are we being so forceful? Why are we
Because
being so
if you have laws, and you agree with these laws, by the way, you have to enforce them. If you don't enforce those laws, they don't exist, right? If you fail to enforce your laws, they don't exist.
Yeah.
And so if we don't enforce the laws that require our government to deport illegal immigrants, people who have violated federal code, the law doesn't exist. And so it has to be enforced evenly and equally. Anybody, I don't care how long you are here, I don't care how old you are, abuela, you're gone. Adios.
Yeah,
okay?
and I think a part of it for me is okay, there's got to be a bit of solvency. Like for example, I was hearing a case this guy, the father was he must have been illegally here, but he had a son with 3 Marines and he's been living in the country for over 30 years. And he was taken away. Is that fair in any way imaginable? You think
Yeah,
that's
I think so.
right?
I think
he
so.
had
So
3
let's
Marines
change.
Well,
dedicated
of all
to
those
let's change the
3
circumstance.
Marines, couldn't one of them had sponsored his father? Could one of... Wait a minute. They checked my parents' citizen status when I got enlisted. And when I was processing people, we had to ask their parents' citizenship status. How did they all get in? Then again, this is probably about the same time I came in, or before, because Marines were different.
It's here.
Okay, yeah.
So this guy, instead of violating 8 U.S. Code 1325, proper entry by alien, he killed somebody 30 years ago. And then he has children, he leads a great life. Would we say, when we find out that he's the killer, would we say, but he has a great life and 3 Marines? No.
Someone and
it's an analogy. They don't have to be the same, and they're not the same, right? But we don't stop enforcing the law just because somebody has decided.
The analogy doesn't
I'm
work.
not done.
Okay.
We don't stop enforcing the law just because after breaking the law, somebody has decided to do something productive with their lives. They still violated the law, and it doesn't matter.
There's levels of law. There are levels of what is more. You get more time.
We don't decide what laws we enforce based on what's moral. The laws are the morality. When we create laws, I'm not finished. When we create laws, we try to base them in morality. The morality, the system of morality the government operates on is already set in stone. Right, we've already decided how we enforce the laws, and therefore they must be enforced evenly, or they don't exist.
I think the time that we put in place, that we send people away for in jail or prison, is in a sense a moral timeline. It's a moral punishment.
Yeah.
When we sentence someone away for murder for a lifetime, we
Right.
consider that morally worse than, let's
Yes.
say,
I
doing
agree
something
with you.
else. That's
And-
why I'm saying
and what's
the
the
analogy
consequence for
doesn't
this?
work.
What's the consequence for violating 8 U.S. Code 1325?
What's the violation?
The consequence is no time in jail, deportation. Goodbye.
Yeah, deportation, but that's also the U.S. Constitution.
It's not the
We're talking-
Constitution. It's federal code.
Constitution. Where did that come
Code,
from?
okay. I mean, again, I just think I'm arguing kind of more from like a moral standpoint. Like if we think that's morally right, more than like what's
It's not these laws about borders and about
I'm going to go in like a few moments
guidelines,
just to
right?
interrupt you, 'cause
That's
I
fine.
have
That's fine.
lots.
These laws about borders are not based in morality, right? You don't say, well, it's immoral to cross a border. Nobody says that, right?
Yeah.
Laws like this, like murder laws, are born out of morality.
Yeah.
Laws like this are born out of practicality. There are two wings to the law: practicality and morality. Laws about borders are not born out of morality. They're born out of practicality because we realize that there are countries who don't like us, and we can't just allow them to send people over here willy-nilly without us vetting those people first.
Yeah.
Furthermore, we also can't allow endless amounts of drugs, weapons, etc. to come across the border. We can't allow cartel gangs to invade this country because you best believe that if they had their way, they would also be slinging drugs in the United States physically, right? Not just
Yeah.
shipping it over the border and having distributors send it out, right? You bet your ass they'd be here killing people. We can't let that happen, right? It's born out of practicality because the government has an obligation to protect its people.
Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
You have
nice
a
to
great
meet you
day.
too. Thank you. You
If I
too.
had to say anything.
I hope this kid. Well, I already know his parents are made of money.
Well, what I mean is, if you ask me my
Ends up making a lot of money and shortly realizing that, oh shit, I might have to give them some of my money. Because you know he doesn't pay taxes. Not yet. He's still in college. When the real world hits, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And that's how you learn. Trial and error. Error. Because you know us growing up, it was sink or swim. They threw you in the water. You learn to swim. You learn to swim. Or you die. So you learn to swim. So you throw these people out into the real world after school, and it hits them like a sack of shit. And then what do? You stay down and complain your whole life? Or you step up, you move forward, complain a lot, till you get to your goal. And then it's worth it. And all that complaining you had over all that time, you're going to look back and go, kind of miss it. Kind of miss it. And then you get the nostalgia, and then you're like, thank fucking God I'm not there anymore. But you're happy because you're where it doesn't matter anymore. I'm high, right? That does make sense, though. Anyways, we're going to stick in on the topic of illegals, but we're not going to stick with Cam Higbee anymore. We're going to go to a former legal immigrant turned American who is definitely all American now. And I was thinking the other day, because I said there's America first. I'm America only. And apparently that's another group too. That's pretty cool. Threes, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I don't know how it's going to work in politics, but typically it's a good thing.
change my mind.
Are you following the leaves, idiot?
I don't bite. If you don't mind moving a little, you can face forward, but I got to hold the mic up because we've had people try and run off with the mic too, so I got to hold it.
Okay.
What's your name, by the way?
Oh, he's got a litter too.
Savannah, nice to meet you, Savannah. Let me ask you, how familiar are you, if at all, with kind of this installment, this series?
Not at all, actually.
Okay.
I didn't know that you would be here today until I saw the signs around campus, and then
Yeah, I think one of my friends Googled you and found out that you were 38, but that's it.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I got it right because I also say I own a waterfront ocean Dallas waterfront property, which doesn't even make sense. Yeah, it's not possible. So let me explain to you kind of, just so we're not talking past each other. Let me first tell you kind of what it's not. It's not gotcha, scoring points, dunking, clips, which I know we see a lot online. This was actually created about a decade ago to be sort of the anti-cable news, where people can actually have conversations that you don't see in media, where hopefully they're done in good faith, and it's, of course, used in its entire context. We never edit it out of context. So, and obviously, however you want to have the conversation, that's up to you, but I just want you to know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
I'm here for a constructive conversation.
Okay.
I don't think that I can change your mind, and I don't think that you can change my mind.
I hope you cross your arms first.
That's fair. Well, you're sitting down to change my mind, so, but we'll see. Sometimes people are surprised. So today's conversation, yep, wholesale, I support deporting all illegal aliens in this country, certainly in 2025. I think it's imperative for a multitude of reasons, and if you disagree, you're more than welcome to change my mind, Savannah.
Okay, well, how do you feel about the ways that current deportations are being handled across the country?
Support it.
You support, like, the racial profiling and possibly the arrest of U.S. citizens?
So I don't know of a single U.S. citizen who's been deported.
No, I didn't say deported. I said being detained because their citizenship is being questioned.
Well,
okay,
let me ask you
and
this.
then-
If someone matches the profile, for example, of a hit and run, and you're detained and
Bro, I'll tell
questioned,
you what.
if
I got detained and, had to do all that whole citizenship shit, you guys know I'm coming back and I'm gonna fucking make jokes about it all day, month, year, decade long. I think it would be kind of cool.
but it's not you, is that a violation of your rights?
No, but the deportations that are happening across the country are going a little more deeper than that. And
I would try to
that
get
seemed to be a
pictures
very
taken.
surface level
Like,
example.
Yo,
Sure,
dog.
I understand why you would say that. And if that was the only way we're deporting people, sure, I don't have a problem with it. But it's not. So let me ask you, are you against all of the methods of deporting people right now? Like, how do you think we should do it?
Well, that's actually the question I had for you, considering that you're hosting this event. How do you think that deportations across the country should be handled? Because when I think of deportations, I'm thinking of the mass roundups that have been happening, and then the detainment, I forget what it's called, Alligator Alcatraz or something? That was in Florida.
Yeah, Alligator Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
was
that's
it
what I think.
Alcatraz?
So I was just wondering how you think that the deportation should be handled.
If I said Alligator Auschwitz, well, you know what I was thinking. Whoopsie.
Yeah, Alligator Alcatraz was for some of the worst offenders, violent offenders. Let me ask you this, before we get to that, do you believe that we should deport illegal aliens?
I think it's a very situational occurrence.
Okay.
I find myself disagreeing with the mass deportations that are happening, which is why I wanted to come here today and ask you what your definition of illegal is and who fits that criteria.
Someone who's come to this country illegally. Anyone.
So anyone who doesn't have paperwork.
Yeah, anyone who's in this country illegally, who committed the crime, the misdemeanor of coming to this country illegally, or visa overstays, which make up a percentage that, yeah, I think it's pretty clear. I don't think that that's one of those scenarios where it's gray. You're either a legal citizen or you're not. So I support deporting all illegal aliens at this point. Which ones would you support deporting? I guess would be my question to you. And then how should we do that?
Well, the question really comes back to how we go about deporting necessarily. So
Okay.
I think, because I mean, ultimately there has to be a solution. There's a solution for everything.
Yeah, it's called deporting them.
Especially in politics and things like that.
Times.
I would like to say so. I would like to say that there would ultimately be a solution here.
Yeah.
Called deporting them.
But do you mean a solution that you're okay with, or do you mean it? Because sometimes the solution is not a pretty one.
Well, I was raised by Southern people.
Okay.
So we think that, what's it called? You know that you've come to a good conclusion when both parties feel like they're being screwed over.
Yeah, compromise is when no one's happy,
Yes.
something like that. That's how we say it in the Northeast, but same thing, yeah.
Yes.
You're much more polite in the South. I was raised by French Canadians, horrible, horrible people, but same sentiment.
So it's interesting that you say that you were raised by French Canadians. And I mean, does that also, It's interesting to think that you're raised by French Canadians,
Yeah.
yet you still support deporting all illegal.
Why is that interesting?
Because you would think that if you're being raised by someone who isn't from this country, maybe you would have a more open mindset.
Oh, I think I have a...
Well, yeah, maybe that's why he supports it. You just said he sees the other side. You've only seen one side. He's got both sides. And he made his decision. Nobody ever asked the immigrants.
Very open mindset. I was born in Detroit. My dad's American. My mom is French Canadian. She now lives in the States. She's very proud, has gone through the process, loves it, speaks the language, pays taxes, contributes. My woman is Latina.
Your woman?
You know what? I just realized something. I just confused this motherfucker with Tom McDonald. My bad, Crowder. My bad, bro. The whole
woman,
time
my
about
lady, my
She
missus.
belongs to you.
Yeah, she likes, I don't know if you know these Latino women, they love a little bit of possessiveness, but I say it as a term of endearment. She went through the naturalization process. I fell in love with her when I saw a picture of her with her she was actually going through the process. There was a picture in front of the Statue of Liberty and a MAGA flag that she had. And both of them actually are far more aggressive than I am in deporting illegal aliens because they appreciate the citizenship. They appreciate being a part of this great country. So
It's
I don't
funny
really think that that's
between
inconsistent.
my wife and her sister. My wife is all about deporting all of them, all the illegals. Her sister, also a legalized, naturalized citizen. The exact opposite. Can you guess the races of me versus her husband's race and their political ideology?
As a matter of fact, I think it's the rule, not the exception. But going back to the question, why...
We definitely had to work a
who
lot harder.
would you deport then? Who would you deem acceptable? What's your term as far as, I guess if you disagree with the legal definition of an illegal alien? And then how would we do it?
Unfortunately, you've just asked me like 3 questions.
Okay.
Which one would you like me to
Who
answer
should be
first?
deported and how should we do it?
Let me think. I guess I've never considered who I would deport if I was king of the world. Which people would I get rid of first, I guess?
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, if we go way back in history, because obviously if we don't study history,
No.
we're doomed to repeat it.
Sure.
If we're talking about the colonial era and how, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492 and all of those things, my question would be, who can be illegal on stolen land?
Got an answer for that. Appreciate Tommy Boy from Portland. Conquered people, conquered land. Not stolen. We took it. It's pretty much given. Attrition. Conquered people, conquered land. Get over it. If it wasn't for them, you wouldn't be here. So you should probably, I don't know, go back to maybe Ireland, maybe German, maybe a combination.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that no one is here legally?
Well, no, I'm not saying that no one's here legally. I'm saying how can people be illegal on land that didn't belong to them in the first place?
So who does the land belong to? And I still do want to get to the point here where you said there's a solution to everything. To do that, you do have to live in the real world, obviously, and right now it's 2025, and you have a disagreement with deportation. You said, well, I don't think we can do it. I don't remember your words, wholesale. We need to determine who. So I think it's a fair question to say.
And then she changed the
who should
topic.
be deported, and how would you do it? The solution isn't going to be this is all stolen land and give it back. I don't know if you've been to a Native American reservation lately. I don't think anyone would like that. And I don't think that's what they're asking for either. But who would you deport and how would you do it? And then we can see where we differ.
Unfortunately, I don't think that anyone should be deported unless maybe someone's being extradited back to a country of origin.
Okay.
So saying if someone has committed a crime in maybe the UK or something, maybe they, the people who robbed, what's it called, the Louvre, and they stole all the crowns and the tiaras.
Yeah, I
and
know. I
stuff.
still can't believe that happened. You're like, how do you not catch these people?
It was like an Ocean's 11.
It really was.
But I would say, unfortunately, I don't think that anyone deserves to be reported unless they're being extradited back to their country of origin because they are committing crimes in their country of origin and they are escaping because
What if they're
they don't
committing
wanna
crimes
face
here?
imprisonment.
What if they're committing crimes here?
I think that the term that comes to mind is that America is a country, a third world country with a Gucci belt. So if
I've
we have
never
enough
heard that.
funding to say maybe deport all of these illegal
We're not a third world country with a Gucci ball because the rest of the world wants to be us. Except for maybe Iran. Yeah, Iran definitely doesn't want to be us. Israel, well, we know they run us. So basically they are us. So fuck.
people, then why don't we have enough money to fix our justice system?
Yeah, and this is one of the things where people just move the goalposts or present
Yeah.
a hearing. I do want to stay on topic. I think we need to fix the justice system as well. But going to this, you see there's a solution for everything. Illegal aliens not only commit crimes, and that's why I brought it up at a much higher rate than native-born citizens. They also cost the taxpayer $150 to $450 billion a year. It is a serious problem, and obviously you know about our debt, our deficit. So how do we deal with this problem? Or it sounds to me like you're saying you wouldn't even deport people who've come here illegally, that's a crime, and are committing extra crimes while here. You wouldn't deport those people?
No, I don't think I would actually. I think that the prison system here in America is well equipped to maybe handle the reformation of those citizens. But I think that when you're only on
You have heard that our prisons are overcrowded, right? That's why people are let loose sooner than later.
option is to escape a country. When you're seeking political asylum, it's not necessarily the easiest thing in the entire world to obtain citizenship before you go to the country that you want to be in.
How do you know?
Yeah, but why are they entitled to go to any country they want?
Why
should
is
American-
anyone entitled to live in it?
Well, all countries, I don't know if you're aware, like they all have borders and they all have laws and
Yes,
becoming a
I'm
citizen.
aware that
Mexico
countries
is
have
far, actually, we have one of the most lenient policies out there. In Mexico, you can't even own waterfront property.
Well, yeah, in Mexico that you can't own guns either, and that's where the cartel has a lot of control.
That's a good point.
What I'm saying
It's true.
is-
You disarm the citizens, you end up emboldening the worst of society. And a lot of those people, I'm sure you know this, are invigorated and emboldened by the human trafficking that goes on. Even people coming here seeking a better life, they have to go through coyotes, and a lot of them don't make it here. There are more slaves on Earth. If we go that route of open borders, there are more slaves on Earth now than ever in human history. Did you know that?
Well, yes, I did.
Yeah, and a big part of them are sex slaves. And they thrive under open borders policies. Sorry, the sun?
It's the sun reflecting off of that car. Sorry, it just like got me.
Which damn car, mine's cocky SOB over there. I don't know who's driving it, but
It's okay.
so yeah, it would be incumbent upon you, because it's not as though there's no net loss if it's $150 to $450 billion a year to the American taxpayer. Make the case to the struggling American right now who's paying taxes out the wazoo, that someone who comes here pays no taxes, shares nothing in common with the culture, language, commits crimes, according to your definition here, should still be allowed to stay and be supported by their tax dollars. Make that case, because that actually is, if we're going to come up with a solution, you need to make that case. Those are the people who are voting.
It's very interesting that you've mentioned multiple times about speaking the language. It's almost as if you demean people for not being fluent in English. I'm curious to see are you fluent in the language that your lady spoke?
So I speak French.
Yes.
She speaks Portuguese, Spanish, and English.
Yes.
But she hates it when people are here in this country and don't speak English. And my mom is French, and she
Unfortunately,
hates it when
that's
people
not
here
the
don't speak
question.
English. Because my mom came here from, well, it's an irrelevant question. So let's have you answer one question, just one.
I have said
So you
that
wouldn't
I
deport criminals. So
No,
let me
I
ask
don't
you
think
this.
that anyone should be
Why should the
deported.
American taxpayer keep footing the bill for current criminals who are also illegal aliens? Those are the people who are affected.
Well, it's almost as if that you're insinuating that illegal citizens do not pay taxes at all, because you can receive employment here in the United States. There's a little checkbox that you have to put on job applications.
I didn't say that, but go ahead with this trail. I never said that none of them pay taxes.
Well, it's interesting the way that you phrase it, because it's almost insinuating that illegal citizens don't pay taxes.
I would say it's interesting the way you interpret it, because what I said is they cost the American taxpayer $150 to $450 billion. Now, I could tell you, provide you the reference if you want to take these with you, so you don't have to take my word for it, that there's about that's including the 17% offset of taxes that are paid from illegal aliens. So even including that number, it's $150 to $450 billion. Whether they all pay taxes or very few of them pay taxes is irrelevant. It's a net cost. There'd be no way of tracking it.
It's irrelevant. So
150 to 450 billion. Why should Americans pay for it?
I'm finding that your argument is very circular. So
But you've never actually came up
I'm
with a
realizing
solution.
that there is no way to change your mind unless you are willing to break the cycle that is your circular argument.
Right. So what would break that is about the language that I speak privately with my woman in my house.
So she came there to change his mind. So she wasn't going to listen to shit he said. So this was never just going to be a debate or a discussion. She doesn't care anything that he's saying. And initially, she would never answer the fucking question. She would go off on some tangent, this way or this way, to get you to look left or right, making sure you don't see what's in front of her, or you being that fucking retarded.
Well, I mean, you referenced earlier that I was moving the goalpost. I was whatever. I'm a social work major here at the University of Oklahoma.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry?
I said fantastic. Good. Thank you for the work.
I am just trying to understand where your opinion comes from, because that's what we do.
Sure.
Social science is understanding how you can. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Social science is understanding
You can
how.
bat it around like a cat toy. Just don't take it with you.
Yeah, it's very tempting. I should have you sign it on the side.
touch it.
But I apologize. I got derailed there for a second. But social science is based on understanding where your.
She got too real there for a second. So you mean she's been lying the whole time? She's been pretending this whole conversation.
Opinion comes from.
Sure.
And it takes a certain amount of intelligence to understand why you believe what you believe.
So why do you think you don't understand it?
Because your argument is very circular.
Okay, explain to me how it's circular.
Because it seems as if you're not willing to. When I said that, it's almost as if that you were insinuating that no one who is an illegal citizen is paying taxes.
Yeah.
You immediately brought up statistics saying, well, there is the 17%.
No, I said
That's
you were
being real.
mischaracterizing what I said. I never said that. So if you're a social worker, shouldn't you also, let's say someone comes in and needs help. If they say, hey, I have a problem because, I don't know, I'm being recruited for this gang and I'm in a neighborhood, and if I don't, it's going to be dangerous to me. And you go, okay, but what I'm hearing you saying is your entire neighborhood is nothing but a gang. And he goes, no, that's not what I'm saying. I said the net cost to taxpayers is $150 to $450 billion a year. You said, well, you're insinuating or demeaning people for none of them paying. That's not what I said. And then I gave you a follow-up stat to ensure it wasn't circular logic. I'm aware of the 17% offset. So it costs the American taxpayer a lot of money, not to mention sanctuary cities and crimes, which disproportionately affects.
So, I know. I interrupted you there
That's okay,
because
go
you've
ahead.
been interrupting me this whole time. So that's unfortunate.
And then you keep going.
But in the South, we are very polite. What I was going to ask, I forgot actually.
Well, how is that circular? I corrected what was a straw man. You're social. It's a logical fallacy, a straw man. You built up an argument that I didn't make. And when I said, well, that's not the argument I made, you said it was circular logic. I said, no, I'm just clarifying that's not what I said.
It's interesting.
Is that fair?
Well, I don't know, but it's
Is it
interesting.
fair to argue against the point or to present a case against the point that I actually made rather than one you've prepared to make a case against? Because I never said that.
Unfortunately, I think I am done.
I think so.
It is very hard to have a productive conversation with you
I can
when
imagine.
you continue to interrupt me and speak over me.
For fuck's
And
sake.
then say that, well, I'm moving the goalpost, and then given no time to maybe have a rebuttal to that.
Take all the time you want.
No, I'm saying I came here.
But you came here with a script, so you didn't expect to have to answer anything he threw back at you, is what you're saying. But you remember, you're not being real.
With the intention of actually having a productive conversation.
Sure.
I just wanted to know who you were and what you thought, because that's what we do in social work.
Yeah.
We want to understand who you are as a person and what you think about the topic
But you're not
that
trying to
is most
understand them.
concerning to you.
So you're
Shouldn't
full
you
of
listen
shit.
when I say what I think of the topic, as opposed to making up something I didn't? Hold on, and then I'll give you the floor.
Actually,
Hold on, and then I'll give you the floor. I know you constantly say it, but we can set a timer and see who's interrupting who. Shouldn't you address the point if you ask me my opinion and I express it, and not misrepresent it?
There you go.
It's just very interesting that whenever I get going on a particular topic, you continue to dominate the conversation. I understand that this is your show and there are cameras who are here for you. I get that. But I wanted to have a productive conversation, and it seems like that.
All right, I'm going to tell you. The second